students in grade 12, good afternoon and welcome to our exam session for today, which is specified to talk about the English exam for the second round for this school year. Well, dear students, dear colleagues, let me first welcome my colleagues in the studio who are going to participate in this seminar. Miss Wala Safir, an English supervisor from Damascus countryside. Good afternoon, Ms. Wala.
Good afternoon.
Thanks for coming. And Mr. Mazin Abdul Karim, an English teacher from Damascus countryside. Good afternoon, Mr. Mazin.
Good afternoon.
Well, dear students, dear colleagues, as you know, in our today's session, we are going to talk about the final exam. We will try to give some pieces of advice to our dear students how to prepare for the English exam and how to study English maybe, and of course we will be ready to receive your calls and to answer your questions about the new curriculum EMAR for both literary section and scientific section. Well, as you know, we will try for today to revise some, let's say, grammatical skills. As you know, in your new curriculum, we have the tenses, we have present tenses, past tenses, future tenses, and we have other grammatical skills. We will try to cover all the grammatical skills in the new curriculum. Let me first start with Miss Wala. Miss Wala, in Unit 1, we have in grade 12 book, as you know, a revision of present tenses. Yeah. Would you please give the students an idea about the present tenses? And we can start, of course, with the present simple. Yeah. Are you ready to talk about this?
Of course.
Okay. Of course, we can use the laptop to introduce, to give the details about all tenses in English.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
the floor is yours.
Basically, in Unit 1, we have a revision of 4 tenses. In the present, we have present simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Let's start with present simple. The form of a present simple is subject plus verb 1. We add s with a third personal pronoun, and we use present simple to talk about many things. Let's start with things which are always true, like facts. For example, we say water boils at 100 degrees. Yeah. We use it also to talk about habits or things we do regularly. So we talk about habitual actions. For example, I drink coffee every morning. Here, drinking coffee is a habitual action. We use it also to talk about future events which are a part of a timetable.
Is the laptop working? Sorry for interruption. Okay, it's working now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Ms. Wala. So you talked about the present simple. You are talking about the present simple, and you said that it has this the form of verb 1 as the infinitive.
Yeah.
Of course, we can add s to the verb if the subject, a third person singular, he, she, or it. And here we have the first use. We use it to talk about things which are always true. The example, please, again.
The example, water boils at 100 degrees.
Yes.
Here we have
100 degrees centigrade, of course. Yes.
Boils is for verb 1. We use it also to talk about habits or things we do regularly. For example, I drink coffee every morning.
Good.
Here, drinking coffee is a habitual action.
Good.
In the present. We use it also to talk about future events which are part of a timetable. I mean a fixed arrangement. For example, my plane leaves at 8 o'clock.
Here we are talking about a schedule that, or a system that cannot be changed by humans.
Yeah.
We are talking about, let's say, an airline company. We have some rules, a system, so we cannot change anything. It's just like a rule. My plane leaves at 8 tonight. It arrives at 7. It's so on.
So
my lessons start at 8 o'clock tomorrow. We have many examples like this.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course. And we use it also to talk about future after certain words or conjunction.
Good.
For example, we have when, after, before, by the time. I'll call you when I get home. Here we have, in the secondary clause, we have when I get home, we have verb 1. Good. And the first part, it's with the future.
Good. That's everything about
present simple.
Yes. Of course, we can use it to talk about states, as you can say. We can say my grandfather lives in the mountains, for example. So it is something which is always true. It doesn't change, as you said. Okay, Mr. Mazen, thanks, Ms. Wala. Of course, we have some keywords, as you said. We can use adverbs of frequency with the present simple. We have always, usually, often, sometimes, generally, seldom, rarely, every, once a week, once a month, twice a week, twice a month,
so
etc.
when we talk about repeated,
or at the weekends,
words,
on Fridays, on Sundays, it means something repeated. That's everything about the present simple. Thank you very much. Now, Mr. Mazen, of course, we can talk about the present continuous. Please.
The present continuous, first of all, the form, which is the subject, plus be, plus verb, plus ing. Example, I am eating, he's drinking, we are swimming. The use of the present continuous, first of all, things which are happening at the moment of speaking. For example, now I am teaching the students English online.
We are, let's say, revising tenses at the moment.
We are explaining the tenses.
Yes. Good.
Number two, temporary or new habits. For example, I'm drinking too much coffee these days because I'm so busy at work. It means, you know,
we are talking about something temporary, not permanent.
Not permanent,
Good.
yes. Annoying habits, usually with always. My flatmate is always leaving the kitchen in a mess.
Good.
So here the student should not mix with the
person
present.
here is trying to express his anger, maybe, or annoyance from his friend.
Or criticism.
Okay, from his flatmate.
Yes.
Good.
Number four, we use the present continuous to express future plans. For example, I'm meeting Joan after class today.
Good. Thanks a lot, Mr. Mazen. Now we can talk about the present perfect simple. Ms. Wala, please.
Yeah, the form of a present perfect simple is have or has plus past participle. Mainly it is used to connect the past to the present. We use it to, for unfinished actions or states or even habits that started in the past and continue to the present.
Good.
Usually we use it to say how long and we need for or since in this situation.
Since or for,
yeah.
yes.
For example, she has lived in London for 3 years.
It means that this
she's
action
still living there
began in
now.
the past and continue to the present.
And maybe for the future.
Yes.
I've known Karen since 1994. Here it's ongoing state. Now the second use, a finished action in someone's life. When the person is still alive, it's like life experience.
Good.
For example, my brother has been to Mexico 3 times.
So here we are talking about an event that happened before now.
Yeah.
An action that happened before
and repeated
now.
in the past.
I visited Mazen recently.
Yeah.
I've been to Mexico recently or lately.
Yes.
It's just like the past simple, but
Okay,
here
without mentioning the time exactly.
we don't mention the exact or the specific time when we visited this place. We are trying to express an experience, as you said. Good.
And the last use, a finished action with a result in the present. For
Good.
example, I've lost my keys. It means the result that I cannot get into the house right now.
No, very nice. So it is an action that happened in the past, but it has
And
an
the consequences.
effect. It has some consequences in the present. Very nice. Good. Next tense, Mr. Mazen.
Yes,
Present perfect.
Present
continuous.
perfect continuous. The form, which is the subject plus have or has plus been plus verb ing. The use, we use the present continuous to say how long for unfinished action which is started in the past and continue to the present. Example, I have been living in London for 2 years.
Good.
Here also it's, you know, we have some common adverbs with the present perfect, shared adverbs. Students should not mix. We cannot use the non-progressive verbs in this tense. For example, know. I know him for many years. We cannot say I've been knowing him.
It is a state verb. We cannot use it in the progressive form.
Yes.
Good.
Number two, action which have recently stopped and have a result which we can often see, hear, or feel in the present. For example, I am tired because I've been studying all day.
Very nice.
Another example, I am tired because I've been running for 2 hours.
I've been running, so I'm really hot is another example.
Example, yes.
Very nice. Now, that's everything, dear students, about the present tenses. Now we can revise the past tenses. Ms. Wala, please.
Yeah. Let's start with the past simple. The form of it, subject plus verb to. Basically, the past simple, the process of performing the action isn't important in the past simple. What's important is the completion of the action. We use it for finished actions, states, or habits in the past. The action may have been in the recent past or a long time ago. For example, I went to the cinema yesterday. Another example, we spent a lot of time in Japan in 2007.
Good.
We use it also for a series of actions in the past in the order that they happened. We often use some words like next, after that, or a conjunction like and.
Series of actions in the past.
Yeah.
Yes, as you said.
For example, the robber came in through the front door, picked up the woman's handbag, and stole her purse.
Good. So we have three actions in the past.
Yeah.
The first one
In the order
was
that
coming
they
in
happened.
through the front door, then picking up the woman's handbag, and finally stealing her purse. Sorry.
Yeah.
Good. Now we have, Mr. Mazen, the past continuous.
Yes, the past continuous, the form, the subject plus was, were, and the verb plus ing. Example, I was eating, we were studying English. The use, we use the past continuous to provide the background scene to an action, usually in the past. Example, we often use words like when, while, and as. The robberies happened at 4 o'clock while they were sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, it is used to talk about a continuing action interrupted by a sudden past action. Example, while we were getting ready
I
to...
think even the first example
Yes.
is the same.
Yeah, interrupted action.
The robbery happened at 4 o'clock while something else was going on. So this action interrupted another action.
Maybe interrupted.
Here we can say it was raining heavily last night. I mean, I'm talking about the first case to provide the background scene.
Yeah.
It was raining heavily. Sometimes we use the past continuous to describe an action that was in progress in the past, just to give a description.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was
Background
raining
story.
heavily.
Yes.
Okay, it was raining heavily last night. One close.
Yes.
That's it. So here we are providing a background of the scene. But when we talk about an action that interrupted another action, we must have two actions here.
Yes.
One happened during another. So the first action interrupted the action in the past simple interrupted the action in the past continuous. Of course, the action in the past continuous began before let's say stopping the rain, before the rain stopped. I mean while we were getting ready to go out, so we were going out. We were preparing ourselves to get out. So we began this action before it rained, before the rain stopped, sorry.
Yes.
Before the rain stopped. So while we were doing this, the rain stopped. So, and we continued after this. So the action began before and continued after. I mean, which is in the past continuous. As you said, Mr. Mazen. That's it. That's everything about
okay.
the past continuous. So when we use the past continuous in one clause, the purpose is to provide a background of the scene, to give a description. But when we use it with the past simple, we are talking here about two actions, one interrupted another. That's it.
Also, Mr. Basu, we can use the past continuous with another past continuous at the same time.
We can talk about two actions that were in progress at the same time.
Yeah.
For example, while I was sleeping in my room, my brother was studying in
Yes.
his room. So two actions that were in progress
At the same time.
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mazen. Now, the next tense, Ms. Wala.
Past perfect simple, the form of it, had plus past participle. This tense is called past of the past, they call it. We use it when we are talking about the past and we want to mention something that happened earlier.
Good.
For example, his father was a composer and his grandfather had also been a musician. Here we have two actions, one happened before the other. His grandfather was a musician before his father.
Before his son became a composer. Right?
Yeah.
Good.
And the second use with words like when, as soon as, by the time, after, or before to show the order of events.
Good.
For example, when Mozart was born, 5 of his siblings had already died.
Good. Good.
So
good.
his siblings died
They
before,
died?
before Mozart was born.
Yes, you're right. Thank you very much. The next tense,
Yes.
Mr. Mazen.
Yes, the past perfect continuous, the form, the subject plus had plus been plus verb ing. Example, I had been studying, yes, for 5 hours. The use, we use the past perfect continuous to describe an action that began and was still in progress in the past before another past action started. It's, you know, it's the same as the past perfect. Two action, but one was in the progress before another action in the past. And the focus on the duration of the time.
Yes.
For example, we had been waiting for a long time when the bus finally came. So here we can say we had waited when the
For a
bus,
long time,
yes,
when the bus finally came.
Yes.
It means that the first action finished
Yes.
before the bus finally came.
Came, yes.
But when we use
Time.
the progressive form, it means that we were still waiting
Yes.
when the bus
Yes.
finally came. Another example, when you called me last night, Mr. Mazen, I had been, let's say,
reading.
playing or reading for 2 hours.
Yes.
And I was still reading when you called me.
Yes.
And I can say, when you called me last night, I had studied for 2 hours, which means that I finished reading, then you called me.
Yes.
So we can use the past perfect with for and the past perfect continuous with for or since. When we talked about the present tenses, we said that we can use for and since with the present perfect simple and the present perfect continuous. It is the same with the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous when we talk about something that happened at a specific time in the past, when something else happened. Good.
Number two,
Another
yes,
use.
The second use to indicate that the continuous action that finished in the past was the cause of a condition, situation, or event in the past. She was very sweaty because she had been running for nearly an hour. So first of all, she had been running for nearly an hour, and then she became sweary.
That's it. Thank you very much. Now we can talk about future forms. And here's the problem.
Yes.
It's not a problem at all, but maybe
Some
students get confused when they use the future forms. And maybe sometimes they don't know which form should they use here or here. So let's try to give an idea about the future forms, Miss Wala. Let me start with you, please.
Future symbol with will
Yes.
plus infinitive. We use it to make predictions, usually based on our opinions, just our opinions. For example, I think it will be extremely hot there. So here it's a prediction without any evidence.
It is a prediction.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about it.
yeah,
It's my
my opinion.
expectation.
Yeah, or
I am expecting about the future. It may happen, it
Or
may
it may
not
not.
happen.
Not happen.
So I think it will be extremely hot there. I'm not sure. Good. This is one
First
use.
The second one, to talk about something we decide to do at the moment of speaking. We didn't intend to do it before. For example, I'm hungry, I'll make a sandwich.
It
Here,
is a sudden decision.
yeah, sudden decision.
Yes.
We make decisions at the time as we speak. And
The phone is ringing, for example.
I will answer.
I'll answer the call.
I'll
Yes.
answer.
It is a sudden decision.
Decision.
Someone is knocking at the door. I'll open it. That's it. It is a sudden decision.
Decision.
So we use it for predictions
for
or
decisions.
for sudden decisions.
Yeah, and we use it also to make offers, promises, or suggestions. For example, don't worry, I'll let everyone know. Here it's
Good.
a promise.
I promise you.
I
It
promise
means
you
I
to do so.
promise you.
Yeah, Mr. Basil,
Yes.
we can use the will plus verb 0 to indicate the far future. For example, scientists will discover new drugs for this disease.
It is again
Prediction.
a prediction for the future.
Yes.
I think many people in the future will live on Mars. It is a prediction. It may
Yes.
happen, may not
What's
happen.
your opinion?
But maybe because of technology, I'm trying to give my expectation to you about something which may happen in the future. I'm not sure about it.
Yes.
Good. That's everything about will, Miss Wala?
Yeah.
Good. Now, Mr. Mazen, the
Yeah.
second form,
The
please.
second form, which is a subject plus be, am is are, plus going to plus the pace form of the verb 0, let's say. We use it, for example, I'm going to study, it's going to rain. We use this form to talk about events in the future we have already thought about and intend to do.
Or it is as a decision I have
Yes.
made before
A
I
pre-decision,
speak.
yes. A decision before we speak, yes.
Yes, that's it.
We are going to...
Or a plan.
A plan, yes. We are
Good.
going to hire a bus.
Or an intention.
Yes.
Good,
For
good.
Another example, I'm now saving money. Yes, I'm going to buy a new mobile.
Okay.
That's it.
Another
Yes,
one.
the second use, to make prediction about the future when we have an evidence.
Good.
For example, look at the sky or look at the clouds.
It is cloudy.
Yes, it's cloudy. It's going to rain.
Good. So here I have an evidence, a
Yes.
clear evidence, which gives me
Yes.
an idea that,
Yes.
or an assurance that it is going to rain 100%
Yes.
or 90%.
Yes.
I'm sure 90%
Yes.
that it's going to rain
Yes.
because the
We have
sky is
clouds.
cloudy. Good. Another form is what?
Yeah, another form,
Thank you, Mr.
future
Mazen.
continuous. The form of it, will plus be plus present participle. We use it to talk about an action in progress at a specific time in the future. For example, this time next week, I'll be doing my exams. Doing exams will take a long time to be happened.
Is that when I give a specific time in the future, I can use the future progressive to tell others that I will be in the middle of the action at this time.
Yeah.
For example, at this time tomorrow, I will be working, I will be sleeping, I will be having lunch,
Yes.
etc. I will be visiting my grandma, etc. So I can do many things in the future, but to refer that I will be in the middle of the action, I can use it when I give a specific time. Here, some students get confused. Let me discuss this point. This time next week, I will visit my grandfather this time next week. I can use it with other forms.
Yes.
I can use it with other forms. Here, students should know very well that they can use more than one form for the same, at the same time,
Yes.
with the same keyword, let's say.
For example,
Don't
tomorrow.
say, dear students, that when we have this time next week, you have to use future progressive. No, it is wrong to say that. Teachers make mistakes when they tell their students
If
that
you
they
see
should
this-
use the future progressive when they see this time next week or at this time tomorrow. No, 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 no. It is wrong to say that. So we have many cases. It depends on the speaker. Now, in the exam, the case will be clear. We have 4 choices, of course. One choice is only correct. So the student should study very carefully the 4 choices, read very carefully the sentence, and choose the right answer. Am I right?
Yes.
Of course, in the exam, we cannot give the students 2 forms
Yes.
that can be used with the sentence. In the sentence, for example, will do and will be doing. I think this time next week, I will do my exams. I will be doing my
Both are
exams.
correct.
I think both are correct.
Yes.
So we cannot give the students these 2 choices in one sentence.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Let's continue.
Yes. The future perfect, the form, subject, plus will, plus have, plus the past participle, which is verb 3, as the student know. The use, we use the future perfect to talk about an action which will be completed before a point of time, in this case a point in the future. For example, I will have finished the report by Friday night. Another example, when you visit me next time, I will have finished my my homework.
Here, when we have phrases like these,
Yes.
by Friday night, by the end of this week,
year.
this year,
Yes.
this month, here we should use the future
Future
perfect,
perfect.
because we are giving a specific time and we are telling
The action will be
others
finished.
that by the coming of this time, the action
another
will
action.
be
Finished.
completed and finished
Yes.
before the coming of this day. So here I'm trying to assure the completion of the action before the coming of this time. That's it. Thank you very
We
much.
can use also, Mr. Basil, the date
Yes.
for, in the future. For example, by 2050, scientists will have discovered a new, for example, new drugs, new medicines.
When you are sure.
Yes.
If you are not sure, you cannot
Yes,
use it,
yes.
of course.
You have to use well there.
Yes. Okay. Now we have, I think, an exercise
Yeah.
about the future.
The exercise for
Am I
all
right?
tenses.
Mhm.
For all tenses. The
For all
exercise.
tenses, yes.
Yes.
For all tenses.
Yeah.
Let's do number one.
Yeah, number
Mr.
one.
Miss Wala, sorry.
Jen is sweating because she sweeps, swept, had swept, has been sweeping. Here,
Why is Jane sweating?
because she has been sweeping the floors.
Of course.
So we are talking here about an
Result.
action that has recently stopped and have a result, which we can see. She's sweating.
And she is still sweating.
Yeah.
So still sweating. So which means that she is still sweeping the floors, right? She began to sweep the floors, and she is, because she has been sweeping the floors.
Yeah.
And she is still.
She began this
Yeah.
before now, and this action began
In the
from
past,
a point in the past and continued to the present, and it is still going on. She hasn't finished yet, so she is sweating. That's why she is sweating. When we use something in the past, it means that the effect of the action finished with the action.
Yeah.
So it is wrong to use, for example,
to use
the past perfect.
yeah.
It is wrong to use the past simple, swept. We have to use the present
Present
perfect,
perfect.
progressive. Thank you very much.
Number two.
Yes, please. Okay, go on.
Me? Yeah. I write in competition in 2006. Here we have a specific time in the past. We must use past simple here. So the correct answer is 1.
We have a specific time.
Yeah,
It is
in the past.
very clear, I
Yeah.
think.
Number 3, every morning we have had, are having, or had coffee. Here we are talking about habitual action in the present. It's better to use the present simple. Every morning we have.
Good.
The last one, this month, I work, I'm working, would work, had been working very hard for my first exams. Here we're talking about a temporary action. Just this month, I'm working very hard because of my exams.
Yes. Of course, we cannot use the present simple. We cannot use the choice C, which is
Past.
would work,
Yeah.
or the past perfect continuous had been working. The only choice, correct choice here is I'm working.
Students must
But of
first
course, with this month, we can use past simple.
past simple.
We can use future. This month,
Perfect.
I will work very hard for my first
Yeah.
exams. We can. I'm going to work hard. I worked very hard. That's it. I have worked very
Yeah,
hard.
it's
We
correct
can
to
use
use
many
it.
tenses with
Present
this month, this week,
Yeah.
this
Not
year.
to just continuous.
So don't tell again, dear colleagues, your students, that use only the present continuous with this week, this month, this year. It is wrong to tell them that. let us try to correct.
To be more flexible with tenses.
Yes, 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 you're right. Okay, go on.
Yes, number 5. While I TV, the phone rang, was watching. So the answer is D, was watching. While I was watching, and this is interruption. So the
an action that was in progress when another action happened.
Took place or
interrupted
happened.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 6, by the time I to the meeting, they had made the big decision without me. Get, got, have got, I'm getting. So the answer is got, B. By the time something happened, we have another action which, happened before it.
Good.
Yes. Good. Number 7, by the time. Students should notice here. Number 6, by the time and simple past. Here, by the time and simple present. Present simple. By the time you get home, the house from top to bottom will be cleaning. I'm going to clean. Will have cleaned. Will clean. So here the answer is is B. Will have cleaned.
Future perfect.
Future perfect.
As we said,
yes.
When we have phrases like these,
yes.
By the time you get home,
yes.
By the end of this week,
by the end
of this month,
yes.
etc., we use the future
yes.
perfect.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Now, that's everything about tenses, dear students. Now, we can talk about other grammatical skills.
Yes.
So here we can say that we have finished 3 units up to now.
Yes.
Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 6.
And unit
now
6.
we can talk about Unit 3.
Yes.
In Unit 3 we have passive voice. Let us start with the passive voice, Miss.
The passive is quite easy to make. Just we have to use the correct form of be plus past participle. We have to know that the subject receives the action expressed by the verb. We have many forms according to the verbs. For example, in present simple, we have lots of bridges are built every year. So we have the object. After the object, we have the correct form of be. It's are here. And we have past participle and the complement of the sentence. In the past simple, we have was or were plus verb 3. For example, lots of bridges were built last year.
Okay.
Present
the
continuous.
word is missing here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And present continuous passive, we have to put be is are being plus past participle. For example, lots of bridges are being built nowadays. Concerning past continuous passive, we have to put was or were being plus past participle. For example, lots of bridges were being built.
Okay. The present perfect passive, we have example, the active, lots of bridges have been, this is the passive, they have built a lot of bridges, lots of bridges have been built. So students should notice that we have a specific rule for the passive, the object plus be, according to the original sentence, and the past participle, which is verb 3. So now we are going to talk about the past perfect passive. We had, for example, built lots of bridges. The passive, lots of bridges had been built. Now we are going to talk about the modals. So all modals have one specific rule in the passive, which is the object plus the modal plus be plus verb 3. Example: they built, they will build a lot of bridges. A lot of bridges will be built next year.
Good. Thank you very much. Now, in unit, before we go on to Unit 4, we have an exercise about the passive voice, please.
The first sentence: many offices of large companies build, have built, are built, have been built in the town center recently.
Many offices of large companies space in the town center recently. We have build, have built, are built, have been built.
We have active and the choices are in active and passive voice. The students have to identify if it's active or passive according to the word before the verb.
So
Here
to
the
make sure,
officers-
you mean that
Yeah.
the students understand the form of the passive voice, you have to give them in the choices, let's say, 2 forms in the active verb
yeah.
and 2 forms in the passive verb. We cannot
course.
give the students 4 forms in the passive.
Yeah.
When we give the students the passive voice in 4 choices, it
give
means
them the
that we
answer.
are not testing them in the passive. We are testing them in tenses.
Yeah.
So it is wrong to give the students 4 choices in the passive voice. We want to make sure that they can distinguish between active voice and passive voice,
Yeah.
and at the same time to use the passive voice in the correct
correct
tense,
tense.
in which tense they should, let's say, make the sentence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we have recently. It is used with the present perfect. Here, many offices is the object of the sentence, so the correct answer is D, have been built.
Good, because we have recently, so we need to choose the present perfect.
Yeah.
This is one thing. So the student here should know that he has to delete 2 forms directly,
yeah.
Yes.
because when he sees the word recently,
Yes.
recently is used with the present
Present
perfect,
perfect.
and it can
We
be
all
used
do.
with the past simple, by the
Yeah.
way. So here we don't have past simple, we have present perfect active, which is
B,
choice A, and we have choice C. Again, it is in the passive.
yeah.
Again, it is present simple. So A and C are wrong. Here, have built or have been built. Have built is active.
Active.
Here we are talking about the sentence is telling us what happens or what happens to the subject, not what the subject did, let's say, or does. So here, many offices of large companies, here
Receives the
what happened to these offices. So the subject here receives the action, not transmits the action. So here the student should know that he has to choose the passive voice,
The passive voice.
form, not the active voice.
Yes.
Have been built is the correct answer. Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Number 2, illegal goods into the warehouse last week. So here we have last week, which indicate the past, and the student should know that this sentence is passive because the object received the action. So illegal goods were smuggled.
Thank you
Illegal
very
goods were smuggled. We have to change was into
Illegal
Yeah.
goods.
were smuggled.
Here, illegal goods.
Yes.
Yes, you're right. We can use it. Okay, were smuggled
Yes.
into the warehouse last week. It's okay. The causative, have something done, Miss Wala.
In the form of causative, we have to use have or get, the object, and past participle. For example, I had my computer fixed by a programmer. Here, I caused the action to happen. We have had, it's the causative verb, fixed is the action, and a programmer is the agent that performed the action.
Here it means that the subject is not the doer of the action.
Yes.
Someone else
Someone.
did the action, not the speaker.
Yeah.
When I say I had my house painted last week, it means that I asked someone to
To
paint
do
the
it.
house for me. I didn't paint the house myself. This is the meaning of the
Of
causative.
causative, yeah.
That's it. So you can use have here in any tense we like. We can use it in the future. We can use
Yeah.
it in the present simple, in the past simple, present continuous, present perfect, etc. Now, let's go on, please.
The use, yes. The use of the causative, we use the causative, have something done and get something done when we refer to action which are done for the subject rather than by the subject. Example, I don't know how to repair cars, so I'm having mine repaired at the garage. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we have many forms of causative according to the tense of the main sentence. For example, the hairdresser cuts Rana's hair about twice a year. To make it a causative sentence, we have to put the subject, Rana, has or gets because it's a present simple, and the object, it's her hair. We have to put past participle, it's cut, and the complement.
Let's stop here, Miss Wala.
Yeah.
The hairdresser, when we say the hairdresser cuts Rana's hair about twice
a year.
About twice a year?
Yeah.
About twice a year. Cuts or cut?
No, hairdresser cuts twice
Cuts.
a year. Yes.
Cuts twice a year.
Yes.
He cuts Rana's hair about twice a year.
Yes.
It means every year he cuts Rana's hair
Twice.
Twice.
2 times.
Yeah.
Which means that Rana doesn't cut her hair
hair.
herself.
Yes.
Someone else
She asked.
cuts
She asked
her
the
hair.
hairdresser.
So it means that here Rana has or gets her hair cut twice a year. Here, don't say that this sentence is positive and the second one is positive.
No.
Okay, it is positive, but here we use the object in the place of the subject,
Yeah, as a subject.
right?
Yeah.
Here in the first sentence, the subject is not is the doer of the action, while in the second sentence, the subject, which is Rana, is not the
Receives.
doer.
Yes.
Yeah.
She receives something from someone else,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Let's go on. Thank you.
Yeah. Yesterday, the optician checked my mother's eyes. So my mother did not check her eyes. She asked the optician to check her eyes. Yesterday, so the causative, yesterday my mother had or got her eyes checked by the optician.
Good.
Now the last sentence, the mechanic is changing the oil in my car. Here it's present continuous. We can put are having or getting the oil, and it's the object plus past participle changed in my car by the mechanic. We can use by plus the agent
Yes, of
if
course.
we want.
We are having or getting the oil changed in my car by someone else
By-
who is the mechanic.
The mechanic.
By the mechanic. That's it. Very nice. Thank you.
Yes. Example about the causative.
An exercise now.
Yes. Exercise. It's just like the one you will see in the exam. I repainted the house myself last month. So here, I did not ask someone to repaint the house. I did it myself. So the causative is I didn't have it painted. So
Thank you.
it's C. I didn't have it painted.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes. Number 2, Sarah doesn't tidy the room herself. It means that someone has done the action for her. She had tidied, has tidied, hasn't had tidied, and the last one is having tidied. Here the first part is in
Present
the present
simple.
simple. We have to use has or have plus past participle.
Have
the correct answer,
in the present simple.
yeah,
She has. Yes.
she has.
Yes. It
She has it
tidied.
tidied. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now, how to express wishes?
Yes. To express wishes in the present or in the future, we use the simple past. So always when we have a wish, we use the simple past. Example, or the form, sorry, if only or I wish plus simple past. Example, if only I knew how to use a computer. It means I don't know how to use the computer and I would like to learn.
So I'm
how
trying to imagine something
imagine,
about
yes.
the present which is not
Yes.
true.
Yes.
When we wish, it means that we are imagining
Yes.
something which is not true.
Not true.
About the present or about
The
future.
future.
the past.
Okay.
Even
Yes.
the
Yeah,
past.
The past.
it's the
Yes.
past.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. To express a regret about a past situation, we use past perfect. The form of it, if only or I wish, plus past perfect. For example, if only I had woken up early, it means I didn't wake up early and I missed the bus.
Here about a past situation.
It's like a regret.
Thank you very much.
Yes. The third use of wish is complaining. To complain about behavior that you disapprove, expressing impatience, annoyance, or dissatisfaction with a present action. If the form is if only or I wish plus would plus verb 0. So if you want to express criticism or annoyance or impatience, we can use the form wish plus would plus verb 0. Example, I wish you wouldn't arrive so late all the time. So I'm annoyed because you always come late and I want you to arrive on time.
Thank you.
Yes.
We have an exercise now.
Okay.
Yeah. The first sentence, I didn't go shopping last week. I wish I went, would go, had gone, and go shopping. Here, students must identify the tense of the main clause. We have it in the past simple. So when we wish,
So
we
it
do
is a past situation.
Past situation.
It is a wish
We are regretting
about a
here.
past situation.
Yeah. So we have to use past perfect here.
Yes.
I wish I had gone shopping.
Good. Thank you very much.
Yes. Number two, if only the children, their books on the floor, I'm always falling over them. Here the students should notice that we have here always with the present progressive. It means here we have annoyance or criticism, so we should use wouldn't leave. The answer is A.
Thank you.
If only the children would not leave their books on the floor.
Yeah, the last one, our flat is rather small. The main sentence in the present simple, so I'm expressing a wish in the present. I wish it is where, would be, had been. We have to use past simple here.
Good.
It were a bit bigger.
Okay. Conditionals now.
Yes, the first conditional, which the first one, if I study, I will pass my exam. So the conditional clause, it has two clauses, if the clause and the main clause. The first one simple present, and the second one is simple future. We can say it vice versa. I will pass my exam if I study. We use it to talk about possible situation and their consequences in the future.
Good.
Yes, the second conditional, for example, if I had enough money, I'd visit you. We use past simple with the if clause and with the plus verb 0 with the main clause. We use it to talk about something not true about the present or future, so we say it's unlikely to happen. Actions that are unlikely to happen in the future.
Thank you very much.
The third conditional, if I had enough time, yesterday I would have visited you. Here we have to use in the if clause past perfect, and the second clause, the main clause, we should use would plus have plus verb 3. I would have visited you if I had enough time yesterday. We use the third conditional to talk about something which is not true about the past.
Thank you. Now,
Example,
we have an
exercises.
We have only 7 minutes, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number one, are you left into town if I finish my work in time? The if clause here in the present simple, so we have to use will plus verb 0. The correct answer is C. I'll give you a left into town if I finish my work in time.
Thank you.
Number two, the poor man, his house, if the official hadn't stopped him, the answer is B, could have built. Because the second one we have if plus had plus verb 3.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The last one, if I enough money, I'd buy a car. Here we have would plus verb 0. It's second conditional. We have to use past simple. The correct answer is B.
Thank you. Now, relative clauses.
Yes, relative pronouns, who, which substitute a person, which is it substitute an animal or a thing or a place, that it substitute a person, an animal or a thing. So we use it for both. Whose, it substitute a position, when it substitutes a time, where it substitutes a place.
Good.
Yeah. We use relative clauses to give additional information or necessary information about a noun in the main clause. For example, John is the man who has won the prize, who refers to the noun man. The relative pronouns that Mr. Mazen mentioned are used to qualify that noun.
Good. Yes, an exercise now.
Yes. A photocopier is a machine which makes copy of documents. So the answer is D.
Yeah, number two, this is in the building where the bus stopped. Here we're talking about a place.
Yes. Number three, I met the author whose book is on the bestseller list. So we are talking about position.
Yeah, the last one, this is the city which John was born in. Here we have, it's a place, but we have to use which because we have a preposition in.
Yes, yes, thank you. Reported speech.
Yes,
now.
reported speech. When transforming statements, check whether you have to change. So when we just change from direct into the indirect speech, we have to take into consideration three things: pronouns, place and time expressions, tenses, backshift.
Yeah, and reported questions, both types of question. For example, yes, no question, we have to use if or whether plus the subject plus the verb. So we don't make inversion. In reported WH question, we use the question word plus the subject plus the verb. We have to pay attention not to use the interrogative form of the verb do, does, or did in reported questions.
Yes.
Exercise about the prepared speech. Number 1, my brother got married a year ago. She said that her brother had got married a year before. So we change the tenses and we change
a step backward.
Yes, and the adverb
Yes.
year ago into
Yes,
a
in
year
the
before.
tense. Yes, you're
Yeah.
right.
Number 2, the train arrives on time. She said that the train arrived on time.
Thank you.
Did someone ring you an hour ago? Janet wanted to know whether someone had drunk her an hour before.
Good.
The last one, why do you want the job? She asked him why he wanted the job.
Yes. Now,
Making question.
making questions. Okay.
Yes, make question. Where did the government build
Here we
the bridge?
need to read the sentence before making
Yes.
the question, Mr.
Yes,
Mazin,
yes.
not the opposite. So here, the government built the bridge
Yes.
over the river. Here, over the river is underlined. Here, the student, should know that he has to make a question about
Over
place,
the yes, over
which
the
is a place.
Yeah.
To ask about place, we use,
where?
that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, where did the government build the bridge? So because we are asking about over the river,
Thank
it's
you,
a place.
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Number 2, my neighbor disappeared 6 months ago. Here we have the underlined phrase, it's a time. We have to use when. After that, we have to use the auxiliary did. Your neighbor disappear.
Number 3, yes, Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin. We are asking about
A person.
So we just only use who.
Just read the question.
Yes,
Because
just-
we have only 1 minute,
Yes,
my dear.
who discovered penicillin.
Okay. Yes. Tom is holding a meeting now.
Now here we're asking about the action.
The action.
What's Tom doing now?
Exactly.
Yes, Mr. Vassal.
I'm wearing Ali's jacket.
So we are asking about position. Whose jacket are you wearing?
Position, that's right. Bacteria help the nature by decomposing organic matter.
So we are asking about the
Purpose,
process.
reason,
Yeah. How do bacteria
or how?
help
Manner,
the nature?
yes. Good. And the last one, I go to the gym 3 times a week.
So here we're
Here.
asking about how many times or
How
how
often.
often. How
Yes.
often do you go to the gym?
Now, how to write a paragraph, 1 minute, and we will finish. Students all should know how to write a paragraph. Dear students, when you want to write a paragraph, you have to write a topic sentence. We call it the key sentence. From the very beginning, you have to know what you are going to talk about, so the reader must know your topic main idea. This is the main idea of your topic, the key sentence. Remember that you will be given in the exam some elements, and these elements must be included in your topic. When you miss or forget any element, you don't talk about one of these elements, be sure that you will lose marks in the exam. So try not to forget any element. All these elements must be included. So let's try to read the final slide, please. How to write a paragraph. As I said, write a topic sentence which addresses what the main idea is going to be. Number 2, once you have written your topic sentence, you can start to fill in the rest of your writing about each element. Make sure your paragraph is coherent, which means that it is easy to read and understand. Number 3, link each sentence with transition words, connecting words, which form a bridge between one sentence and another. First, second, last, finally, after that, then, these words, before, etc. Link, we can use because, for example, why not? Number 4, write a concluding sentence, which is the last sentence, a concluding sentence which reinforces the idea in the topic sentence. It might be an opinion or advice. And finally, review your paragraph to check for grammar, spelling, punctuation, capitalization, coherence, and style. Try, my advice to you, dear students, finally, remember these three words: be direct, be simple, be short. That's it. The ideas will be easy. As you saw in the first round of exams, the paragraph was very easy. The ideas were very clear. The elements were very clear. So you don't have to worry about writing a paragraph, but you need to practice as you can to be able to write without any mistakes or without making mistakes. Finally, dear students, let me thank my dear colleagues in the studio who participated me in this seminar. Miss Wala Safir, an English supervisor from Damascus countryside, thank you very much for coming and for your participation. Mr. Mazen Abdul Kareem, an English teacher from Damascus countryside, thanks for coming, Mr. Mazen.
Thank you very much.
Dear students, dear colleagues, finally we hope that we could, let's say, present beneficial ideas about English exams for the second round of this year. This is Basil Sadiq speaking from the Syrian Educational Channel from Damascus. Thanks, good luck.